Hello, this is In2it Oracle. Today I'm going to be doing a tarot reading. It is just going to be a general message, but it is past, present, future. So let's start. So for the past card. Okay, so two want to come out. I'm going to use a different deck for present. 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 And use third tarot deck for future. Okay, I have that out. So they're all facing down. I can't see what the cards are at this moment. I'm going to get two oracle cards. So I'm going to get one oracle card that connects the past to the present, and another one that connects the present to the future. So I'm going to use the energy oracle deck for that one. Oops. So it's two. I'm going to use that for the one that connects the past to the present. Get another that connects the present to the future. Get another that connects the present to the future. Okay. So again, all the cards are facing down. Okay, so let me just get a Power of Surrender card that is the overall energy of the reading. Overall energy. Overall energy. Maybe we don't want this deck for overall energy. Let me get In2it. An In2it card for overall energy. Overall energy. Give me one card. Give me one card for overall energy. Okay. So again, that's also facing down. Okay, so let me start out with the tarot for past. We're using the Borderless. Okay, so let's see what we got. We have the Five of Cups and the Ace of Cups. This is really beautiful. So there was a period of time in the past where you were focusing a lot on what you had lost or what you failed to accomplish, what you failed to achieve. But then something or someone caused you to shift your attention, and it made things feel a little bit brighter. And on the Ace of Cups, in the Rider-Waite depiction of it, it's almost like the water's pouring out of the cup like a fountain. And so, I don't know, it just reminded me of like the fountain of youth, or like a fountain that you drop pennies into. So it's something about luck or something about youthfulness. Whatever this past situation was that caused you to focus more on what you didn't have than what you did have, it had to do with, what was I going to say? Sorry guys, I have ADHD. I forget everything I say. Like the second I think it. It had to do with something you felt you were lacking. There's also something about a grand gesture. This like the way it's set up with the Five of Cups, the Five of Cups, Ace of Cups, it's reminding me of the Four of Cups. How the person is paying attention to like the cups. I mean, they're standing up and they're not spilled, but the Four of Cups are looking at these cups over there. But then there's like a magic floating hand saying "woohoo, like you over here," and this sort of feels similar. So there's something about not feeling good enough, not feeling ready. But it isn't as simple a depiction as the Five of Cups usually is, where this person is feeling regretful or like completely in sorrow, and there's just no reconciling or anything, something like that. I feel like there was. So this past situation wasn't completely hopeless. This could be like a relationship, or you finding out some sort of news that was like emotional, but it felt like a brand new beginning that made up for this hopeful feeling, or that made up for you feeling regretful. That's what it feels like. It's like all hope is not lost, or it could even have felt like you got a second chance at something, like a do-over. Like maybe you thought that there was an opportunity that maybe you passed up on the opportunity and you're like, damn, maybe I should have done that, or maybe I should put more effort into it. But then the opportunity comes around again, so there's not really a need to continue feeling regretful and hopeful, because now here's another opportunity to take on whatever it is that you didn't get a chance to take on earlier. Okay, so that was the past. So now let me see what is connecting the past and present. We have financial constraints, and then the temple path, 13 going to 12. This feels like you had to lose something to get something. Yeah. It also feels like because remember how I said that it sounded like you passed up on something, or you didn't take the opportunity, rather than it being taken away from you, or you not having some sense of control in the situation? I'm still feeling that way with financial constraints and the temple path. I'm feeling like you made a decision that maybe to other people felt like the wrong decision. But now I'm kind of starting to question how I read the Five of Cups, Ace of Cups just a little bit, because now I'm starting to feel as though this is a situation where you made a difficult choice. Even if it was a choice that you would never regretted, there can still sometimes be sadness with certain choices, right? Even if you know it's the right one. And then that's why the Ace of Cups is coming afterwards. So yeah, there could be some feelings of regret, there could be some feelings of sadness, but it isn't like a sense of, oh, I had something taken away from me. It's like, no, you made a decision, but something beautiful ended up coming out of that decision. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Okay, so now let me look at the present. We have the Three of Wands. So look at how different this energy is. We go from feeling like a little bit hopeless, but then of course the Ace of Cups kind of gave me the feeling of all hope is not lost, which I was correct about. But now we're in a better position. We're in a position of power. Like we've taken the reins in our own life, and now we have the ability to possibly work when we want. We have more of a say in what it is that we do. This could be like someone who's a business owner, or maybe like a manager of something, or they could simply just feel like they have a better handle on their life than they did before, to the point where they feel like they can make big decisions and involve other people. Yeah, this does feel like a moving on up sort of situation, but it also is kind of getting the feeling of a monk, especially with the Temple Path card. It does feel sort of monkish. Even the Three of Wands is feeling like that. Sometimes the Three of Wands doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like that now. But it's almost feeling like commercial monk. Like, how some people are like, oh, how is this person like a preacher, but they make millions of dollars? That's not what this feels like, just a little bit. Just a little bit. A teensy bit, okay? because I did say you're in a, a higher position, I do think you're still sort of isolated a little bit, right? All these cards sort of feel like isolation, financial constraints, Five of Cups, the Temple Path, Three of Wands, those cards feel kind of isolating. Even though the Three of Wands sometimes talks about, having to connect with people who can get your product or whatever it is out there, to a greater audience. Once we can talk about that, it's still feeling a little bit isolating because this person is on their own. You can't see other people on the card. So I do feel like a little bit isolated. Yeah, but that's where you're in presently. There is still a sense of, I don't know what is going to come next. Like, I feel like I'm in a more stable place than I was before. I'm not in the Two of Wands. I'm not planning, right? I'm actually doing. But there is still a sense of what's next. There is still a sense of I'm waiting to see what can happen. Okay, now let's see what connects the present to the future. Appreciation. This is like a Nine of Cups? Yeah, Nine of Cups. That's what that feels like. There is a feeling of like royalty or being exalted in some way. I'm getting like Three of Pentacles vibes as well. I was getting that before too. So there could be something that has to do with collaboration. The Three of Wands can sometimes talk about that, just because I said that it sometimes has to do with you talking to people who can get your product out there. You talking to warehouses or distributors or whatever that can help you in some way. So I am getting the feeling of collaboration, even though there aren't other people in any of these cards. It does still feel collaborative. Maybe it could have something to do with the fact that you're collaborating with people, but you're the main one who is the face of a product or the face of a brand. But it really is not just you. There's a lot of people behind the brand. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go deeper into the Three of Wands, but let's see if the future card can kind of tie this together a bit more nicely. Then we have Page of Pentacles for the future. It's going to have to do something with learning. Because remember how I said with the Three of Wands that you're trying to get your product out there, and that requires working with distributors and stuff like that. And, use what I'm saying and apply to whatever your situation is. If you're an author, maybe you're trying to talk to different publishing houses. If you're a fashion designer, maybe you're trying to talk to, different, whatever, people who make certain type of fabrics. So apply it to your situation. But with the Page of Pentacles in the future, this kind of feels like you learning what people are doing so you can end up doing it yourself. So for the publishing example, maybe this is you, maybe getting a little bit frustrated having to talk to all these different publishing houses and editors. So you try to find a way to become your own editor or become your own publishing house. Maybe you try to start a publishing house. It can be many different things depending on your situation, but that's what it feels like. It feels like you're learning to be able to do these things on your own. This can also talk about going back to school. Maybe you're feeling like in the situation that you're in, you would be benefited from going back to school. And I do see that could be a really good thing for you. And also, with the Page of Pentacles card in this deck, it's like the pentacles sort of have it's like little sparkles around it. It's like shining and shit. So I think that you investing in your education in some way, or trying to have a better understanding of how things work, like on the business side rather than just on like the marketing side, I think can be beneficial to your business. I think it can help you make more money. And if this isn't a business, if this is like a a career that can feel just typical, but it's still a big thing, right? Business is not the only thing that can be beautiful and amazing. Like a quote unquote typical career can also be that. Like I said, if this has to do with more of a typical career, I think that maybe you invest in your education, maybe getting some certifications, things like that can really benefit you. Okay, let's look at the overall energy. We have Bear, boss, CEO, judge, coach, finance, benefits, wealth, Mama Bear, protective, strong, large, muscular, rich, affluent, hairy. So remember I said this does feel like an entrepreneur sort of situation. Because it is a bear card, it's talking about Mama Bear, protective, whatever. This does bring me back to what I said earlier, where you are working with other people and collaborating with other people, but you're still the face. So this can mean that maybe you have an assistant, or maybe you have someone who helps you with promotion or things like that. Or maybe it can be some of those situations where you have people behind the scenes who are doing the same work you're doing, but maybe they're camera shy. Maybe they don't want to be front facing or as front facing as you are. So you kind of stand out more than they do, or you're the only person who stands out and they're sort of in the background. But that's what this feels like. So now we have two cards that are 15 out here. Appreciation that tied together present and future was 15, and then the bear card was 15. Okay, so there could be something significant about the number 15 that combines to make the number 6. Something maybe about 15 years, or 2015 was significant, or maybe 15 years ago, which was 2010 was significant. It could be a number of things. Maybe this could talk about the number of staff you have. Maybe you're going to end up having 15 employees or whatever. But yeah, I am feeling a lot about you being the boss, okay? Let's get a Power of Surrender card. Let's get some advice for them. What do they need to surrender to? Oh, I barely finished my question. How many cards is this? This is 2? Okay, whatever. We have surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. I have something to say about surrender stress. I'm going to read the second one first. Surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. So when I first got these cards, I thought surrender stress said surrender success, and that kind of made me think about maybe there can be a part of you that the idea of whatever this is becoming successful seems very daunting. So I think Spirit could be saying that in order to take the pressure off, so you can actually go into this thing confident and knowing that you can help it reach the heights it's meant to reach. You kind of have to surrender success, right? You have to surrender that there's a certain way that your business can operate that's going to achieve success. Like, it can really achieve success in a number of different ways. So try not to limit yourself in terms of, it can only be successful if I do this. Okay. Yeah. So surrender stress and surrender to miracles. Yeah. I think that maybe the idea of your business being successful is, it could be creating stress for you because there's a lot that can come with that, right? There can be a lot that comes with it in terms of maybe you not being able to see your family and friends as much, or you having more money to deal with during tax season. Like, there's a lot that goes into becoming a big time CEO or whatever. So there could be a lot of anxiety that is occurring as a result of that. But Spirit's saying that you have to sort of find a way to take the pressure off, right? You have to stop seeing it as, oh my God, like, this is a big responsibility, because it is. But if that's all you see it as, and you are not paying as much attention to the fact that it's the small things you do every day that can make or break your business, you're going to lose focus, because you might be focusing so much on the big picture that you're forgetting about the little picture, because it really is the little things you do each day that are going to make or break your business. And if you forget that, the idea of you being successful is going to create anxiety, okay? You have to focus on what you can do each day to maintain the success of your business or to create success in your business. But also be open to the idea that success can come about in different ways. It's not going to look the same for everyone, okay? We also surrendered a miracle. There's dolphins on the card. This makes me feel like, communication, like mating calls or whatever. So I don't know. I think that maybe once you start your business, you're going to start meeting like-minded people, but also the like-minded people you meet are going to help your business flourish. Okay, so just, there's a lot about being open here. Being open to the idea that the opportunity that you thought was going to come back around can come around. Be open to the idea that collaborating with people can be a good thing rather than another thing to be stressed about. Be open to all of these things, okay? Thank you so much for listening to this reading. I hope it was helpful to you. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.